No.
I'd say go for it.
Are we on?
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the Edge's Facebook's page, #1 Facebook broadcast at this particular time. The Wingding Wednesday edition of 3 to 5 things we didn't have time to talk about today. For those of you who don't speak Wingding, there you go. I said the words, so you didn't need to read them, but good job in putting in the extra effort and reading, because it's good for you. I would always like to thank our sponsor, for Corey's Clothiers, 569 Danforth Avenue, where a kid can be a kid. You guys don't get that? No, you're all young. That's the original Chuck E. Cheese slogan. Where a kid can be a kid. Chuck E. Cheese. One time, I think I told you guys about the time that I hugged a Chuck E. Cheese mascot and I got in trouble because it was a girl in the Chuck E. Cheese costume. And yeah, it's a long time ago. That's why I never hug mascots. Ever. Moving on. Okay. Remember a few weeks ago when we talked about how awful Air Canada was? Well, it turns out I'm not alone in my hatred of Air Canada. Air Canada tied with United for having the worst customer service of any airline in North America, which is absolutely fantastic. Imagine that. Air Canada tied with an airline that just beats up its passengers. What are they doing? I'll tell you what they're not doing, giving good customer service. They are total bastard airlines. That is Air Canada. And the reason that it's never going to get better is because they are the national airline of Canada. So that means that all the constituents, the MPs, ministers of parliament and all that, they have to have access to get home and yada, yada, yada. So they all, oh my God, there's a rock star from the 1980s getting arrested right now. He's got some sweet farmer tan. But anyways, let's move on. Let's not talk. No, don't, dude. That's against the law. You can't put him on camera.
It's okay, you can see him.
Good thing. You almost got us all fired. I was just getting all fired up about Air Canada too. Anyways, Air Canada has to exist so that all ministers of parliament can all get to their constituencies and yada, yada, yada. They know that no matter what they do, they're always going to be kept afloat. They're always going to have a friend upstairs, ministers of parliament. They're always going to look after them. It's like Porter Airlines. Okay, listen, here's a story about Billy Bishop Airport. Billy Bishop Airport was Air Canada whined and complained, said that it wasn't feasible to run an airline out of there. Porter comes along. They run an airline out of there. Not just an airline, but an awesome airline that gives away free cookies and beer when you're on their planes, which is amazing, okay? And so after they make a run of it and they're making it work, guess who comes along and says, well, you got to let us go on there too. We're going to steal your business model, but we got to be there too. Air friggin' Canada. Ugh. I think it was John Oliver who said if you want to do anything truly evil, just make it really boring. Air Canada lives that motto. They live it. They're constantly putting people in a runaround in order to get refunds for anything. Because you can't just call them up and get a refund, right? You can't do that. You got to go through an automated emailing system that has you fill out all kinds of point by point form. And then they decide if the type of refund you're seeking actually fits in that category. And guess what? If you try to get a refund and you're in the technical wrong category, no one calls you and asks you to explain it. No, you just got to start the whole goddamn process over again. They are the worst. The worst! I'll pay double to fly another airline. Oh, that's a picture of India. Because, Air Canada, when you call them and actually get on the call, that's where you're calling. It's not Canada. It's weird how an airline that's kept afloat by the government isn't forced to, employ Canadians at their call center. That is so weird. I don't know how that works. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about another wonderful place. If Air Canada was a country, it would be North Korea. This guy, his name is Otto Warmbier. Why does he have a sad expression? Because he's about to go to jail in North Korea. Nobody's happy when they go to jail in North Korea. What did he do, though? What did Otto Warmbier do? Who is American, by the way. So Otto Warmbier is in North Korea and is drunk and decides, you know what's funny? I'm going to steal a road sign. No, you don't. It's not funny. Not funny. Never. You're in North Korea. It's the only like part of the world that has like a harsher judiciary system than New Mexico. It's like the only place. North Korea. So he ends up getting sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. It's important to remember that real life is not... Oh, that's Kim Jong-un laughing. I thought we were going to go to Team America. Real life is not Team America. It's not super funny and hilarious. It's legitimately terrifying. So he gets sentenced to 15 years of hard labor, but he just got released. You know why? Because he's in a coma. Apparently while he was there, he was getting like viciously beaten all the time by the security guards. Got beaten so bad, got put in a coma, so they decided rather than continue to look after him and have to spend the money on keeping him alive, they just send him back to the States in a coma. The moral of the story is, unless you want to go do hard labor for years, don't commit crime in North Korea. They don't have a sense of humor. Kim Jong-un is not a cockroach inside of a robot that's going to fly back to his home planet. It's a terrible place. It's a terrible, terrible place. It's North Korea. It's terrible. What's that? That is a sewer. That's actually a sewer right here in the city of Toronto. Probably doesn't smell very good, okay? Now, that's a sewer in Toronto, and it looks very old. And that's because the sewers in Toronto are old. A lot of the main sewer lines right downtown are over 100 years old, and our infrastructure is horribly outdated. What does that mean, though? That means that we are ruining the waterfront. Last month, the month of May, Toronto dumped over 540 Olympic-sized swimming pools filled of sewage into the water. Just dumped it in there. Why? Because we have no infrastructure. Our infrastructure is horribly outdated. Why isn't anything being done about this? Well, I'll tell you why nothing's being done about this. Because the same reason we don't have a really huge subway system. Because no politician in Toronto is willing to stand up and build a good subway system. You can make fun of Rob Ford all you want, and I do. Believe me, I do. I use the Baby Elephant Walk song, boom, 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 whenever I talked about him. Because he's very easy to make fun of because he said dumb things all the time. But, despite that, I 100% agreed with him about subways. Subways are expensive. They're expensive to build, but they're awesome. You ever hear about all the traffic jams that the Yonge Line is causing on Yonge Street? You don't. Because it's underground and doesn't cause any. It's awesome. Subways are amazing. Rain or shine, you're there, you're dry, you're fine. They're fantastic. Subways are the future. The reason Toronto doesn't have a very good subway system is because no politicians have willingly stood up and invested. It's expensive now, but it's not getting any cheaper. It gets more expensive all the time. New York is constantly working on their subway system. So is London. So is Paris. So is Tokyo. So is every other world-class city. And we don't. Why? Because everyone's more concerned about getting reelected than they are about making the city a better place. Things are expensive. That's just the way it is. The sewer system downtown is a perfect example. That lake, the Canadian side, is more polluted than the American side. Americans put more money into conserving Lake Ontario than the province of Ontario does. Let that soak in. Let that soak in like you're sitting in some sewage. Oh, rough Miss Pacman. I forgot the picture. Let's talk about Miss Pacman for a minute, okay? Miss Pacman actually is basically like spelling the end of mankind. Why? Because Microsoft used an artificial intelligence to beat Miss Pacman, to get the perfect score at Miss Pacman. Now, here's the thing. I'm very familiar with like the old school video games because I watched a wonderful documentary called King of Kong. That's my man Steve Wiebe, the man. A guy, you know what Steve Wiebe does now? Steve Wiebe gets paid to go to like bars and stuff and literally just sit there and play Donkey Kong now because he's a Donkey Kong celebrity. Snoop Dogg is a huge fan of that guy. Not even joking. Snoop Dogg loves Donkey Kong. Says his favorite video game. Steve Wiebe, he brought Steve Wiebe to his house to get pointers on how to get better at Donkey Kong. Not even joking. Watch King of Kong. It's the greatest battle of good and evil ever put into a movie, period. It's awesome. I'm telling you. But the thing is is Microsoft got a supercomputer and got it to play Miss Pacman, and then it got the perfect game at Pacman, did better than any human has ever done at that game. Essentially, they've given a computer the keys to destroy humanity. If they can crack down the strategic systems to beat those ghosts, to beat Miss Pacman, what does that say for us? I'll tell you what it says. It says that we're going to get destroyed by Skynet because if they can beat Miss Pacman, they can beat us. It's just that simple. Let's talk about something else. That guy is binge watching. He's got the popcorn. He's got the beer. Looks like a Heineken. I can tell because the lip of the bottle there. But he's watching Netflix and he is binge watching. Binge watching can kill you. It's a true story. Binge watching can kill you. Here's the thing. If you're sitting for a long period of time, you can end up causing blood clots in your leg. And then when you get up, those blood clots can go into your heart, go into your brain, and you can die. It can kill you. And they've been talking about this for years. They've been talking about how being sedentary, watching too much TV, and not doing anything can actually kill you. But people aren't listening. So you know what they're having to say in order to get guys to listen to it? It can make your junk not work. Netflix is going to kill your boner. How about that? Sitting around all the time can cause a decrease in testosterone production, which can there lead to erectile difficulties. Imagine if you get a blood clot in your leg, that blood clot goes into your wiener, and you don't have testosterone to get a boner, to get it out of there, and you die with a blood clot in your wiener, and you never get a boner again. Think about it. And that's the thing about guys. Like, guys, when they hear, like, yo, it might kill me, whatever, I'm, like, invincible, it doesn't matter. But you tell them that their dick won't work, and they suddenly listen. That's all guys care about. I bet you if you asked guys, your dick will never work again, or you'll die. They would choose to die rather than have a not working penis. So that's just guys. That's what we do. And here's, I understand that, actually. I'm just going to make a statement about penises for 1 second, because girls don't understand. They don't get it. They don't understand it. It's just, I don't understand menstruation. I'm never going to sit here and I'm never going to talk about, you know what the problem with PMS is? I don't know. Never had PMS. I don't menstruate. I have a penis. Let me tell you about my penis for a second. A penis is your best friend. It's your best friend. Sometimes gets you into trouble, but you always come out on top because your penis is always there for you. When things are bad, your penis doesn't cheat on you. When's your penis cheat on you? Never. Never does. Always there for you. Can't get to sleep? Just do a little sparring with that guy. You'll fall asleep right away. That's the thing. You're essentially asking a guy to get rid of his best friend. So don't get rid of your best friend. Get some exercise. Stop binge watching. Give me a call. 416-870-EDGE. First caller through to say, penis will get themselves that DeWalt prize back. I'm glad we had this conversation.